Man, all right, let's make sure we back and really up and rolling, man. Y'all forgive me for that last broadcast, but let me see. We live. We back and really up. All right, yeah, y'all forgive me, man. That's part of the drawback of being the ghetto version of the news. Excuse me. We always have unexpected technical difficulties. Because I'm actually trying something else, man, today. I ain't got no choice but to try something else. I'm using somebody else's Wi-Fi. We're having problems. We're going to put this back up there. And we're going to... All right. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. But we back. I figured out what the problem was. One of the problems I'm having is I can't get my camera to rotate on my phone. I gotta put like that. The bill was due, and the phone is off. I'm using somebody else's fucking Wi-Fi. Anyway, let's get down to it. We're gonna go do this article. We're gonna start this article first, and really, this is the main article we want to talk about. Y'all leave your comments. If y'all was here the first time we did this video, you see we had some technical difficulties. I'm gonna try to wait for some of you all to come back before I start. We only got one person watching now. That's sad. But then too, this is an impromptu video. I know a lot of people were not expecting to see me today because again, the inconsistency on my behalf is part of the problem with this channel not thriving the way that it should. So I'm back, and we're gonna go ahead and start with the story. If you all are here right now, please hit that like button to get people to come back to check this video out. But we're gonna start with it. And again, we're talking about the situation with undocumented workers, illegal immigrants, whatever you want to call them. This is checking in, man. What's going on, Dale? Hey, I appreciate you for joining me, man. We're going to kind of be brief unless you all want to chime in. But this is something that we as Black folks really need to pay attention to. Because we as Black folk got a habit for championing everybody else who don't give a crap about us. And in this situation, again, it's the undocumented workers, the illegal immigrants. Hey, Miss Stewart, how you doing? Again, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm a all-inclusive type person. Whatever you do, whoever you are, that's on you. I do not judge you. Hell, I can't judge nobody because I got sin. But when it comes to these illegal immigrants, Black folk, please realize they are the new niggas. What's happening when you see this? They talk about the crisis on the border, but they don't talk about it in major terms or tell you the truth about it on the mainstream media, in the mainstream media. These people are being allowed to come into this country. And when they do come, guess who got to get a houses up? Guess who got to get a jobs up? Guess who got to give all the opportunities up to accommodate them? Us as Black people. Because see what's happening, and I'm just keeping it real, this is not a biased opinion, this is just a reality. Your Democrats cannot depend on Black people to vote for them anymore. So they need to create them some new niggas. And the new niggas are the illegal immigrants. Also, something that a lot of people don't know, the private prison system is making a killing off these people who cross the border illegally. Hey, they're serious letting them stay. They're serious. Oh, not only they're letting them stay, but the state of New York is about to give these folks $15,000, not $1,500, $15,600 in pandemic relief. This shit is crazy, y'all. It's crazy. And again, Black folks, we need to be particularly interested in what goes on with these illegal immigrants, undocumented workers, whatever you call them, we need to pay attention, because in reality, these folks do not give a fuck about us. They will not piss on a black person if he was on fire to put him out. They don't care. They don't like us. And we championing them. Everybody need to come here and look. They looking for an opportunity, a better opportunity. Guess what? We the only motherfuckers to come here as slaves, and still are not getting half the benefits that these folks come over here get right now. Because again, they're benefiting the Democratic Party, because the democratically led state of New York is about to get these folks 15,000, not 1,500. Remember when you got your stimulus from the government? 1,400. We had to wait almost 7-8 months, and some of us, like me, still ain't. So this is what we need to focus on as black people. That shit is not our problem, is not our fight. And if anything, we should be outraged at the fact that these folks can come over here and in 10 days of being here illegally, they can get more shit than we ever got. And we've been here 400 years. I'm going to read the article. But again, black people, that is not our fight. The Democrats are trying to capitalize by creating a new voting block of new niggas. I bet they got classes where they teach them how to say nigga. You know, they sit in class, right, go ahead, class, let me hear you say it. Nickel, nickel, nickel. Oh, you're close. If you get your ass kicked by one of them, then you know you got it right. That's the way they looking at us, man. They do not care about us. They never have. And also, again, the private prison system is capitalizing because they get, y'all see them folks in the cages and shit like that? Those are people who are in a private, for-profit prison system in a sense. Even though they detention centers, they call them detainees, they're ran by private, for-profit prisons where they get upwards of $100 a day. And maybe for a child, they might get $150. If you got 30 to 40 to 50 to maybe 100,000 people in these types of facilities, guess how much money the private prison system is making? Same private prison system that they use to house us as American citizens, they getting paid. So they have an investment in keeping these people coming here, which eventually is going to get released and allowed to roam America. And who the fuck got to get a housing, the jobs? We already can't get no bank loans hardly. They come over here and get all that shit right now. Well, we as black people still fighting for equality. Now, let me read you all this. This is coming from Yahoo News. All right. Undocumented workers in New York could get up to $15,600 in pandemic relief. Remember, the federal government only gave you $400. The state of New York is off the fucking chain because it's democratically led and they need a new nigger. The Negroes are waking up and asking them questions. What the fuck y'all gonna give us? They ain't said nothing about giving black people in New York, people in New York, no 15,000. Had it. All right. New York State likely will offer one-time payments of up to $15,600 to undocumented workers hurt by the pandemic, but who could not access federal relief. You know why? Because they're not fucking from here. They're illegal immigrants. Undocumented workers is just another way of saying illegal immigrant. And under the law, they're not qualified. They're not entitled to this shit because they are here illegally. So the feds didn't get nothing. New York say, fuck all the black people that's in poverty in our city that's trying to start businesses, basically. We're going to get these motherfuckers 15,000 because black folks don't want to vote for us no more. Y'all, hey, y'all, you notice we got 9 of y'all here. Let me read Hand say, that's why they're getting mad at Georgia's new ID law. Legals won't be able to vote. Genius. This is why. Exactly. And we're going to talk about that, Hands, too, because in a way, Georgia is being racist in a sense because they're discriminating against a lot of people. But the truth is, voter ID law. Negroes get mad about that, and I can understand some of the argument, but tell the truth. You cannot go into a liquor store without a fucking ID. You are not illegally, you're not allowed to walk outside your house without an identification. If you go to a movie that's rated R, you got to show what? Identification. So ID laws are very important so that you know who it is that's voting. But Georgia got a lot of other shit going on in their voter the situation that they got with the voting laws. So we can talk about that a little bit later. But let's get back to reading this article. All right, I'm gonna go back and start over, and I'm gonna just continue with the article. Then I'll come back with the commentary. New York State will likely offer one-time payments of up to $15,600 to undocumented workers hurt by the pandemic, but who cannot access federal relief. Nearly 300,000 people may be eligible for the program. As a part of the $212 billion 2022 budget deal reached this week by state lawmakers and the governor, the state plans to allocate $2.1 billion to an excluded worker fund. The budget passed the Democratic-controlled legislature on Wednesday and now needs to be approved by Governor Andrew Cuomo. The $2.1 billion fund to aid excluded workers in this pandemic is urgently needed, thoroughly deserved, and will not only benefit workers and their families, but also the communities where they live. Not around niggas. David Callett, Deputy Director of New York-based Fiscal Policy Institute, wrote in a report analyzing the proposal. The program makes up less than 1% of the budget deal, which also includes $2.4 billion for rent relief programs and a $1 billion aid package for small businesses, arts, entertainment, restaurants, and other provisions. Around 92,000 workers will qualify for the first tier of the program, which provides $15,600 to undocumented workers who can meet strict eligibility requirements. What was number one eligibility requirement was you was a fucking American citizen. That should be the first eligibility requirement right there. Additionally, 1,999 workers would qualify for the second tier of the program that pays $3,200 per worker, the analysts found. The first tier portion of the program is meant to pay what an undocumented worker would receive in federal unemployment benefits, while the second tier pays what those workers have gotten from 3 rounds of stimulus payment, have gotten from 3 rounds of stimulus payment. The tier 1 benefit of $15,600 is enough to make a real difference in the lives of families who have struggled through this pandemic year. What the fuck about all the black folks that's been struggling in the city of New York since we fucking been here? What do they get? Let's go on. It is substantial enough to be compared to unemployment insurance, though it is still well below the amount other workers who have lost their jobs could get. Wait a minute, what they getting? $400 a week. That's $1,600 a month. And they said from what it was for February, just say January to September. That's 9 months. So you're saying 1,600 times 9 is 9,600 times 9 is 54. So that's about right as far as the money wise. Y'all leave y'all comments. We really need y'all comments. Let me go ahead and finish reading this article, then we can talk. It is that 15,600 is less than 34,000 in unemployment benefits the average unemployed New York worker would have received over the course of the year. But it's not a fucking year, it's 9 months. The analysis found the figure increases to 50,000 if that New York worker remains jobless until September. All right. New York City can receive the most funding for the program, getting $1.5 billion, followed by Long Island at $251 million, and the Lower Hudson Valley at $143 million. The analysts noted that undocumented immigrants contribute to the state revenues by paying sales tax and property tax through rent, while their employers pay into an unemployment insurance system, even though the workers aren't eligible for benefits. Additionally, other researchers suggest that between 50% and 75% of unauthorized immigrants pay federal, state, and local taxes as of 2008, according to an analysis done by the Congressional Budget Office. California is the only other state that set up a similar program when it established a $75 million cash assistance program last year that provided undocumented workers with a one-time $500 payment. And that's what that article is. Matter of fact, let me copy this article and post it, and you all can go check it out and find related articles. But what y'all think about this, man? What do y'all think about this? This is the article right there, if you all want to check it out for yourself. Also, please keep hitting that like button, man, that share button. Please, man, because we need many people, especially we need many of our people that's watching this to see this. Because this shit is crazy, man. And again, it's really all about, it's not about that they care so much for these people. It's really not about that these poor people are fleeing their countries looking for a better opportunity. You want to know the real reason why a lot of these people are fleeing their countries in Central America? And I'm going to tell y'all something else. Donald Trump was right when he said, in the case of these illegal immigrants and undocumented workers, we're not getting the best and brightest for motherfuckers from these countries that they're coming from. Because if you was getting the brain surgeons, the fucking chemists, the physicists, the mathematicians, the top-rate engineers, they wouldn't be coming here illegally. Your government would be recruiting them to come. Now, you getting these motherfuckers coming here that's gangbanging. You notice all the people that coming here in your neighborhood got tattoos and shit where they claiming they sick. You're not getting the best and brightest. And again, as they come here, Black people pay attention throughout the country. Neighborhoods that were once predominantly Black are being taken over. Because when they come, most times they do move to the suburb, but when they first come here, shit, they move into a neighborhood near you. Now, again, what the hand say? Let's say this message is being held for review. Let's review it. We're gonna let it go. Hold on. On there saying that message is being held for review. They said not only hands are they letting them stay, but they are. Hold on. I'm trying to because your last comment is they saying holding it for review. I was gonna let it go. All right, we're gonna show it. Bring them here. All right, we got all you all. Why are they getting mad at Georgia law? They'll say bringing them here. Americans are homeless, jobless, broke, and begging in the street. Exactly. Not surprised. And say we need to capitalize on the immigrants. But it's crazy though. This is what we're looking at. And again, if y'all here, man, please hit that like button. We need y'all to hit that like button and share button. Because we got to go hard in the paint on this subject, man. Because Black folks are around here championing a group, again, all these people who do not give a fuck about us. Do you see them saying that Black people need to get some type of reparation for slavery? No, they don't give a fuck because they're getting reparations right now in real time in the form of this government assistance. Because they're saying they're doing it because they were not eligible for federal benefits. And again, you know why? Because they are here illegally. They're letting a lot of these people work. They call them undocumented workers. What does that mean? That means they don't have no paperwork. They don't have no social security card. They don't have no ID. They don't have a birth certificate, all of which you as a Black person have to fucking have, pretty much just to walk up and down the street. You have to have this to get your $1,400. You have to have all this information, but they are undocumented. That's a better way of saying illegal immigrant. Man, again, I'm not anti nobody. I'm an equal opportunity person, but at the same time, I am a realist and realize that this is a bunch of bullshit, man, designed to replace us again in the voting blocks for the Democratic Party. And then at the same time, because again, if you invite these people here, give them free medicine, free Medicaid, you know what I'm saying? They get food stamps in a lot of cases. It's from state to state. They get all these benefits for being here right now. While we as black people in 400 years have not received any of that shit. It's going to be a setup for eventually they're going to do a digital ID, but eventually they're going to get to what that thing Book of Revelation talked about. That one whole thing. Notice they're talking about digital currencies a lot. Everything is going paperless. And what better way to go totally paperless and keep track of everybody is you go with the RDIF chip. That sounds like conspiracy theory, but they're doing that shit already, y'all. Because the mark of the beast, again, was not talking about 666 in everybody's fucking forehead. It was talking about a system, an economic system that was able to track your every move and control your buying and selling. Now, in the case of these illegal immigrants, you have to realize that in a lot of ways, it hurts all Americans because when they come here, they'll do shit, man, that used to be $20 an hour, $25 an hour. Now that shit is $8 an hour, $10 an hour. They drive down the wages. They drive down the employment pool, especially for black people, because they don't have to pay them nowhere near what they would have to pay us, especially if we're skilled. They say, fuck it, I can go get 3 of these people from Honduras to do it. I can get 3 of them to do it and pay them $7.50 an hour and won't have to pay you your $20 an hour that you deserve, Mr. Black Guy. And again, these people, I started this thought, but got sidetracked. These people, you know why they're fleeing their country? Yeah, they're looking for something better, but our government in most cases is fueling the dope game in their country, sparking all the violence. So a lot of these people are fleeing from violence in their countries, but the violence is caused by your government, the United States government, trafficking dope, creating gangs in these countries that's fighting dope wars, which is causing a lot of these people to leave their countries and come to America. That's really the whole deal. Our country is like think about it. Every country that we bombing over in the Middle East, you notice we got a lot of their citizens here. In a sense, that's kind of like a untalked about form of reparations to these people in their country. But that's what's going on. Hey, y'all, while y'all here also, man, please, there is a desperate need we got to have taken care of today. We need to reach a goal of $86.29. If you all can hit that cash out, please do that. But make sure you hitting this like button, man. If you like this content, please hit the like button. But let's go get off into it. They don't care about us as black people really anymore in the Democratic Party, because they're seeing that black people, like when Ice Cube started asking the Democrats questions, what y'all gonna give us? Notice how they try to vilify this brother. But for one of the first time, a prominent entertainer wasn't just going along with their bullshit. As Ice Cube was like, what y'all gonna give us within the first 180 days? Now again, keep in mind, this is on a state level in New York. But how many other states, especially democratically led states, are going to follow suit and have all these people come and again create a new voting block? again, we mad at Georgia for what they're doing, because they're definitely discriminating in the voting block, but they're trying to make it seem in the mainstream media that it's just against black people. Now, those Republicans in Georgia are realizing how the Democrats are using. Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show that. Chris, you heading to Shreveport? That's great, man. Would be nice to see you, bro, man. We just, I mean, be careful and make sure you strap legally, because it's crazy as fuck here in Shreveport. Anyway, the Democrats, the Republicans realize how the Democrats are stacking this new voter block up. And that's why they're coming up with all these laws. And again, it is affecting us as black people. But yeah, that's what's happening in Georgia, man. These folks are flooding the country. Think about this also. Remember I did the show where I was mentioning how they are literally flying a lot of these people to various states, various cities around the country, and paying for them to live in motels while they go through the process of getting their proper paperwork. I'm kind of upset about it, because I know black people in New York, if I really think that they are woke as I think they are, they're going to rebel against this. And if not, then we are asleep, because again, most of us black people are in their corner. Yeah, they deserve happiness and freedom at our expense. For real though. Did the state of New York say, well, so they saying, what they're saying is these poor people, they've come here looking for a better life. They were shut out of federal assistance. So we have to take it upon ourselves to make life better for them. But if they ever want to say, these black people have suffered, their families, their ancestors have suffered so much in the 400 years that they've been here in oppression and still under oppression, that we deserve to give them something. Man, when we ask about reparations, everything about it, everybody else can get anything they want from the government. Going back to the Holocaust, look how our government give the Jews all this shit, and we ain't had nothing to do with the Holocaust. Look how they give everybody else that they did something to or wrong in the history of this country. They give them something. But when black people talk about reparation, first thing they say, move on, nigga. That was years ago, hundreds of years ago. There's nothing we can do about that. That's the old story. That's ancient history. No, it's not. Because again, hey, Sister Powers, how you doing, sister? Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about the immigrants. How again, they have, this country has made some type of reparation to every other race or every other group of people that they've ever done something wrong to, except black people. Again, they give money, they give tens of millions, billions of dollars to Israel, talking about the Holocaust, and America didn't have shit to do with that, especially black folks. The Indian, the Native American Indians, they're getting paid in some kind of way. They give them all this money and these benefits. They got all these casinos. You look at the Japanese that they put in detention camps when they were here. I mean, during World War II, they have been paid back. Everybody else can bring up what the American government did to them and get something. But when black people say, what about slavery? Move along, nigga. There's nothing to see here. That was ancient history. Bullshit. My mother is still alive today. And I say this all the time. When they come with that ancient history shit, my mother, who is 70 years old, was alive when here in Shreveport, Louisiana, blacks were not even allowed to drink out the same water fountain. My mother, her mother and her aunt were two of the premier cooks in the city of Shreveport at F.W. Woolworth. Y'all remember Woolworth Company used to be downtown Shreveport? That at one point, that was the premier place to go to eat when downtown was thumping and people just come from all over the city, catching the trolley, the jitneys at that time to Woolworth. And my mama and them couldn't even eat at the front counter where her mama worked at. So that shit ain't so ancient history. You know what I'm saying? For real. It's not ancient history. That shit is in a lot of people's lifetime that's living right now. But they tell us they can't give us nothing. And all of a sudden, here it comes. They can get these immigrants, illegal, undocumented immigrants in New York, $15,600 cash payment. What y'all think about that, black people? What do y'all think about that? I mean, we really need you all. Well, right now, there's 11 of you all watching. And if you all happen to watch this show after, you know, the live broadcast ends, please leave your comments, because I try to check up and keep up with the comments. Let me put this up here, man, because again, there is a goal we got to reach. I'm going to have to shut this video down shortly and go try to make this happen for this man. Come ask me for some goddamn rent money. For real. I'm already a week and a half behind. I was able to get up 3 weeks. I mean, a week and a half for the 3 weeks. But anyway, if y'all can bless us, hit the cash out, because the phone already out. That's why we're having the technical difficulty. I'm just blessed to use somebody else's Wi-Fi. But anyway, what y'all think about that, black people? I mean, it's 11 of y'all watching. Please feel free. If you for it, if you have no problem, please leave your comment. We can have a dialogue, a respectful dialogue. Ain't nobody gonna cuss nobody out, but we're gonna have to answer this question eventually as black people, because again, we have been. Willie Lynch said in his letter, he said, what you got to do with the black people. He was talking about how the indoctrination of the black people was supposed to take place, and if you do this shit right, it will be self-perpetuating. It will last for at least for 300 years, at least, maybe even 3,000. He said, what you got to do is you got to take the dark-skinned black, put them against the light-skinned black. You got to take the black man, put him against the black the black boy. You take the black woman, put her against the black girl. You take the black man, put him against the black woman. You take the black woman, put her against the black man. You take the old black female, put her against the young black female. You take the young black female, put her against the old black female. Basically what he said, what we want to do is have these Negroes fighting each other on every level, the light-skinned Negro against the dark-skinned Negro, on every level, inasmuch they will not trust anybody but us. And here we are, 400 years later, proving them right. We're so busily internally fighting each other as a race that there's no way we can fight white supremacy. There's no way we can fight these other races who are coming here and are already starting to become just as a bigger percentage of the population as us. But the only people we'll trust is massa, the government, to help us out. We'll fight for everybody else except us. You know, how many Negroes will get out there when a police officer kill a black man, but we won't get out there and say, hold up, wait a minute, y'all getting these folks too much goddamn money, and we still the poorest people in America. Think about this. These folks are just now coming here, and we are still the poorest motherfucking minority, the racial group in America. These folks are coming here, man. Pay attention when you drive around your city. How many of these construction sites you see that's full of immigrants, not a black face on the motherfucking site? When you get up in the morning, you're on your way to work, you're driving to work at 6 o'clock, you have to stop for gas. What do you see at these gas stations? You might see 1 or 2 more black people at that gas station, but these gas stations are full of company trucks with nothing but motherfucking immigrants, man. We the one that got to get the jobs up for these folks, bruh. And they're saying that where most black people are having problems getting employed, they're saying that these undocumented workers, meaning that they already employed, they deserve $15,000. And again, even though it's not a federal thing, because the federal government showed everybody what they think, they don't give a fuck. They say all you get is $1,400. $1,400 is what the federal government gave every American. So really, every American, no matter what your color is, you should be pissed off, mad as fuck about what the state of New York is doing. That shit is ridiculous. Here we are struggling as a citizen, much less a black citizen, even worse, a black citizen. And they're about to give a bunch of people who are here illegally all this money. That's crazy, man. What y'all think about it? We're gonna look at a little bit more news. I mean, I really need you all comments and questions, man. You know, because that will help make this. I mean, just let me know. Am I wrong for feeling the way that I feel about this? I mean, does it make me seem bigoted in any kind of way? Definitely not a racist, man, because I get along with everybody. I have no problem, you know, and really, you know, individually, you know, I have nothing against these people who do come here, because again, they're fleeing from hostile situations that was created by our government in their countries. Let me see what this notification is up here. Y'all give me a second. This guy's probably talking about that one video. You know, people still talking about that video I did with all the shooting here in Shreveport. Hold on a second. Fuck. Y'all give me a second. I apologize for that. Something ain't right. Can y'all hear me? Oh, crap, man. Okay, I apologize for that, man. Again, I'm having technical difficulties. What it is, like I say, I'm just be real. I keep the shit real with y'all, man. Y'all my subscribers, and I'm just keeping it real. The phone has been disconnected. It's been shut off, and I'm having to use somebody else's Wi-Fi. I'm having to use somebody else's Wi-Fi, man, and that's what got why I keep cutting off and disconnected. And I apologize. That's why I said earlier, man. Again, if y'all like the show, man, please make that little donation so we can get this goddamn phone back on, because that helps out a lot. All right, Brother Hand say, what do you think we should do? Shit, we should go to that motherfucking whatever city you in, especially if you living in New York. You should flood the next city motherfucking council meeting. You should flood your next state legislative meeting. You should flood every meeting. Well, this is going to be on the state level. So you need to really flood your motherfucking senators, your congressmen, and shut the next legislative meeting down in your state. Shut it down. Appear in so many numbers and create so much civil disobedience that they cannot conduct business like normal, because they can't even get into the building without seeing tens, maybe hundreds of thousands black people saying, hell no. We demand that you revisit this decision. Because again, it's saying the 15,000 will not only help benefit them people personally, but benefit the neighborhoods that they are in. And in most cases, these folks do not live directly in the neighborhood that we are in. Our neighborhoods are still shitholes, man. Our neighborhoods still are like war zones. That 2.1 billion that they're talking about giving, just imagine how many upgrades they can make to the infrastructure of the black people in the state of New York that live in poverty or at or below poverty. Just imagine, if nothing else, they could have probably gave out of 2.1 billion, every black person who's a descendant of a slave, they could have gave him maybe $2,000. But they get nothing in the state of New York if you're black. You get the same old runaround. So, I mean, that's what you should do. Okay, it was still running while I was out. That's what you should do, man. You should block, whenever you see legislation passed like this, it's one thing to get out in your neighborhoods, hold up picket signs on protests. That gets notoriety to your cause. But in order to get action to your cause, you have to flood your congressmen, your senators, your representatives with so many phone calls and emails that you break the system, break all the circuits. I'm talking about literally. I mean, every day, if every black person, just say in the state of New York, call their senator, their representative who vote for this 5 times a day, all day, I mean, every day, you're going to shut his network down. You're going to shut his server down. And then at the same time, every time they come to work in the morning, they need to be greeted by tens of thousands of black people. See, in other countries, believe it or not, we don't want to sacrifice it here in America. But in other countries, when stuff like this happens, they have work stoppages. They literally say, fuck it, we ain't going to work. We're going to go down here and protest. And they don't show you this on TV. Man, they show you millions of people in these other countries, man, protesting, shutting parliament, whatever you call it down, shutting government down until government has no other opportunity but address their grievances. But here in America, believe it or not, more and more laws are being passed, especially under COVID. They started with 9/11, but now under COVID, more and more laws are being enacted to restrict your movement and your ability to protest and gather and assemble peacefully in protest. Yeah, that's what they're using a lot of these quote unquote events for, to restrict your ability to gather in mass numbers to protest this. And they anyway, they're gonna lull you to sleep because again, most black people are still around here lulled by this bewitching entertainment that most motherfucking black people don't even watch the news or don't hear about that shit until they start saying, well, them Mexican, man, they been spending a lot of money. Or they realize, man, you heard they gave them $15,000 a piece. Then black people, what? We ain't got nothing. We've been slaves, but shit, the information out there. But most of us would rather be entertained than get this type of information. Most people don't get, then when they get this information, first thing they're gonna say, them poor Mexicans, they deserve it. Them poor Hondurans, they deserve it. Shit. Your children getting crazy checks, getting food stamps, shit, begging these folks for welfare and shit like that. Our people can't get jobs in a lot of cases because we got the felony labels labeled on us. We got all this shit going against us. And we would sit around and talk about a bunch of people cheer and cheerleaders. Get out there and actually protest with them. You know what I'm saying? How many of them motherfuckers are protesting with us? Talking about reparations for slavery. How many of them do you literally see with picket signs say, give the blacks money, give the blacks money? None of them motherfuckers. But we get out there, let them stay, let them stay. And then the more and more the motherfuckers come here, you like, goddamn, the rent going up in the neighborhood, man, goddamn, they want $300 more a month. You know why? Because these folks are coming here, 12 of them living in one house. Just say if the rent is, well, just say here on average, your rent is $600 for a 2-bedroom house. You know what I'm saying? Well, hell, if it's 8 of them living in there, guess what? That's less than about $75 a piece a month that they got to pay in rent. Whereas you can't afford the $600 because you're trying to get back and forth to a job from McDonald's or something that's mostly paying your minimum wage or a little bit over. You can't afford to pay $600 in your electric and all this shit. For $150, 8 of them can pay the water, the rent, the electric, cable bill, internet. They can pay all that shit. And then you wonder why you got to move now to find a cheaper house. But everywhere you go now, the prices of houses are going up because they are coming here getting all this money and they are able to afford shit that you and I can't afford. So again, you have to shut government down. You have to speak to government because it's not their fault that the government is using them as pawns in the game. They're benefiting from it. What's wrong, child? I ain't really let these dogs out, man. But anyway, I just thought I'd run that by y'all. You know, when I seen the article a couple of days ago, when I seen the argument a couple of days ago, the article a couple of days ago, I was pissed. And that was one of the things I was going to talk about in the show. But again, I wasn't able to do the show that day because I got them. Let me see if they check this out. Everybody still on that issue. Y'all forgive me. I'm just looking at something on another channel. All right. So we can end this program right now, or we can keep going. Let me see if there's anything else in the news. Oh, now we are. Hold on. Oh, this was an article here that we can talk about just for a second. Y'all remember when we talked last week about the situation with extraterrestrials? A lot of people still don't get it. But here's an article. Who this article is coming from? This is coming from the Daily Star. And this article gonna blow your mind. U.S. military pays scientists to build physics-bending weapon for wars with UFOs. Remember we talked about that? And again, this is a subject that a lot of people don't want to hear or don't want to talk about because it's taboo. It's gonna seem crazy if you just even ask the question. And I don't understand how you could read any of your scriptures, any of your religious scriptures, and not understand that they're talking about extraterrestrial beings visiting this earth. I mean, it's all throughout, especially your Bible. It's all throughout. Even when Jesus in the New Testament say, I saw Satan fall from heaven like an angel. I mean, like a ball, whatever. But let me read this. Now, this goes on. Keep in mind that this is not some crackpot shit. This is actual. This is coming from the Daily Star. This is talking about how your Pentagon knows something is out there. All right, let's read this. The article starts off. U.S. military pays scientists to build physics-bending weapon for wars with UFOs. All right, this is not what I want. Y'all give me China. That's one let me do it. But there you go. The U.S. Department of Defense has poured hundreds of thousands of dollars in. Dang it. Y'all forgive me this again. I'm having to do this with some other Wi-Fi, and it's not. Child, I understand, babe. Dad can't do nothing for you right now. Now let me refresh this. And again, that's part of the issue, man. You know, doing this what I do. You know, there's the good and the bad. There come setbacks. You know, in order for me to do it, everything has to be right, and right now ain't shit right. The U.S. Department of Defense has poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into development of a space-time modification weapon that will ensure battlefield supremacy by bending laws of physics. While the concept might seem something like a dreamed up by tinfoil hatted conspiracy theorist, the U.S. military has a long history of dabbling in research that sounds like science fiction. Of course, if it's science fiction today, it's a reality tomorrow. The radar invisible F-117A Nighthawk and its flying wing cousin, the B-52, the B-2 Spirit, still look like something from Star Wars film, despite both designs being around 40 years old. Yeah, child, move, go. I'll put something in your ear. Please, child, get up. Go sit down, girl. Please, go sit down. Y'all apologize, man. She got ear mice. I've been trying everything. I got to get her some medicine. But This new initiative is based on the work of controversial scientist Dr. Salvador Pais. Uh, Pais claims that artificially generated high-energy electromagnetic field can manipulate the quantum vacuum that underlies the entire universe. If Pais is correct, a craft surrounded by electromagnetic force field of this kind could move through air or water with virtually no resistance. This would allow incredible acceleration and produce a new kind of aircraft that, according to the enigmatic Dr. Pais, would be able to engineer the fabric of our reality at the most fundamental level. But not everyone agrees with him. Now, it basically, science writer Barrington urges that so-called Pais effect has no significant basis in reality, and added that patents related to it were filed with pseudo-scientific jargon, meaning that homeboy just basically fucking the government with, you know, his smooth talk. He's smooth talking the government. All right, shit. I'm gonna get you fuckers out of there, man. I gotta keep some of these dogs, y'all. But Defense Department emails revealed that there was at least one experimental demonstration of the technology. UFO hunters will note that the schematic Pais drew up for his experimental craft looks suspiciously like the black triangles, sometimes spotted gliding over the southwestern United States. The U.S. National Institute for Discovery Science cataloged sightings of the so-called black triangle UFOs dating back to the 90s, and concluded that the behavior of the mysterious aerial object does not appear consistent with covert deployment of advanced DoD, U.S. Department of Defense aircraft. In a recent publication, Pais describes his craft, which would operate both an aircraft and a submarine, as being shaped roughly like the point of a pencil. The HAUC is colonical in configuration with the elliptical cross section, similarly in geometry to a hypersonic glide vehicle or DART. The hypercraft, which would encase its crew in a Faraday cage to shield them from immense electromagnetic forces. Y'all know what a Faraday cage is? That's a little interesting advice. You should get to do a little research on it. That's the case they have like what they call it, one of them energy pulse, electromagnetic pulse, EMPs, like if a beam of sun, a ray from the sun shoots an electromagnetic pulse to the earth, it would shut every fucking electrical device down, but a Faraday cage would protect your devices. You know, you can actually buy a small device, put your cell phones and other shit in there. Whereas if that does happen, you know what I'm saying? Because the United States and Russia can create, they have weapons that can create EMPs, electromagnetic pulses, and shut all the electrical equipment down. So y'all take note of that. The hybrid craft, which would encase the crew in a Faraday cage and protect them from intense electromagnetic ray forces, would operate a submarine capable of extreme underwater speeds, as well as supersonic and potentially hypersonic stealth craft. We're going to end that story right there. But that goes to show you, man, if your defense department is even taking that thought serious, it said they spend hundreds of thousands. That's really nothing for your defense department to spend. Should they spend that on parts to build a fucking thruster for one engine on some of these planes? But they're taking it serious to the point where, again, your last president, Donald Trump, when he was president, he basically created a whole new branch of the military. Your Department of Defense, again, and all these alphabet organizations that has anything to do with intelligence, defense, or whatever, they have to put out by June 1st all their documentation on possible sightings, UFO sightings, or whatever they have dealing with extraterrestrial entities. So this conversation we're going to continue to have at the Real News Behind the News, because if you're not understanding the real story of creation and how this came to be and took place, you'll never understand what's going on now, what's about to happen in real soon to be the soon-to-be future. And we're just gonna leave that story at that. But y'all need to start. I suggest that you all start taking this a little bit more serious, because even if we just, like I say, if you don't want to just believe in extraterrestrial, you have to understand, if you look at that thing from a religious point of view, your whole religious scriptures, text, that's all it talks about. Shit coming from the sky down to the earth. When these quote unquote angels was visiting these people, giving them these supernatural powers or these profound visions, those weren't fucking angels in a sense, man. Those were real beings from other universes coming to visit mankind, imparting knowledge to them. When the Bible tells you in Genesis, we say, let us go down there and create man in our image. They want to say the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Well, only the Christians believe that. I don't really know how the Jews explain it or whatever. But that was left in that Bible, plural, for some reason. Again, us is different than me. Me is singular, us is plural. When it says, let us go down there and create man in our, again, plural, image. Yeah. So we need to take that serious, a lot more serious, I suggest, as Black people. But anyway, if we don't have any more comments, I'm gonna go ahead and end this show, man, because I gotta get out and make something happen, bro. Really, I do. I thank you all for joining us. Please, as you all here, we only have 6 people watching now. Again, I noticed I was looking at the analytics. Maybe I talk a little too long about different subjects or whatever, but I noticed the list. I mean, the average viewing time is less than half of what the videos are. So y'all give me suggestions to hold people's attention a little bit longer. This message is held for the review. All right, we got that. All right, we got all the comments right now, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and end the show, because there ain't no use in continuing to stream, using these people Wi-Fi, and we're not being engaged. Really, again, when our people engage, when our subscribers engage in dialogue, it really helps things go along. But I don't want to just be sitting up here rambling, looking like an old ass idiot, especially when I need to get out of here. I see no one has made a donation, so that means I had to get out there and go donate to my own cause. But I got to get this phone back on, because we're having problems with use somebody else's Wi-Fi, and that causes a lag. It causes the computer to the show to keep shutting down. I'm trying to see if that's on there. Okay, that's there. But other than that, yeah. There's something else I wanted to talk about before I go. Again, the tragic passing of rap star DMX. Now, y'all know I don't usually do entertainment type stuff. This is not tabloid entertainment. This is reality. Again, in my opinion, DMX was literally one of the top 5 greatest lyricists and rappers of all time. A great entertainer, because he starred in 4 or 5 movies, blockbuster movies, before he went to jail. He was a great all-around entertainer. He was a great poet. Now, from what we're being told, that he allegedly suffered a heart attack from an alleged overdose. But I'm gonna read something real briefly, and y'all pay attention to what's being said. All right. Again, this is from the article I read last night, and this article is coming from the Deadline. But it mentioned an interesting fact. Hold on, I'm gonna go to this. I want to read this. Hold on, because this is a serious thing you got to pay attention to, because there are rumors being spread that DMX had recently got a vaccination, and his doctors or his family. I'm trying to read this. I want to put this out here for sure. Maybe that's not the article. Oh no, I take that back. Y'all forgive me. That was a TMZ article I read it from. Okay, here it is. Now pay attention to what his family and what his doctors didn't say. I missed it. And I know I've been holding y'all long, but we're down to 2 viewers. I'm gonna read this though. And I can't find it. I'm putting it in. But basically what his doctors, what I wanted to share and emphasize was that no one has literally officially, his doctors or his family, said that it was an overdose. This is what we're being told, that it was an overdose. Is that the TMZ broke story that after we had after X had virtually no brain function, oxygen for nearly 30 minutes following his overdose. Brain function never returned, and by Thursday his organ began failing while he remained in the support. Many in X family was at the hospital over the last week, including mom and Thea. The reps tell ever since passed away with his family. Earl was warned. Statement contains his love. Please respect our privacy. It's the final decade. Anyway, there being said that DMX took that vaccine a couple of weeks or a couple of days before he actually died. But one thing that his doctors are not saying, his doctors never said he had an overdose or he even had a heart attack. This is what his doctors are not saying as of this point. Nobody officially associated with this whole scenario has said anything about an overdose. The overdose is coming through the media. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, I'm not trying to interject anything, but this does sound awful strange, especially when you see it now that some of his family members are questioning and referring to the fact that he had that vaccination recently, and none of them are saying anything about an overdose officially in public. So that's something we should think about, because we do know, remember I posted, Marvin Hagler, former middleweight champion of the world, about a month ago, it literally came out that he died from complications from the vaccine. This is not a conspiracy theory or whatever. This is the fact. This is the way it was reported. But guess what? Don't too many people really care about marvelous Marvin Hagler, one of the greatest boxers in boxing history, if you follow boxing like I do. Nobody really talked about that. But yeah, here's a former world champion, 5-time, undisputed middleweight world champion. And his story got pushed under the rug because he died from the vaccination. What's to say? I always ask questions. In this case, again, it's what they're not saying publicly that you should be asking questions about. And what they're not saying is that his family is not saying anything about an overdose. All his family is saying that he's passed away. He had no brain activity. So y'all keep that in mind. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because I don't want to be some, like I say, some old nigga just on YouTube ranting and ain't nobody watching. But please, yeah, because we've been going for an hour now. But please, again, we thank y'all for joining us. Please hit that like button, hit that share button. And again, if you all can, you like what we're doing, the Cash App is up there. The PayPal is up there. We can really use those donations today because there's a need of 70. Well, it's just say 80 some dollars and 29 cents. We need to make that today. Get this phone taken care of. Yeah, girl. I gotta go take care of these puppies, man, and try to get out here and make this happen. So if something else come up, we're gonna do a series of short videos while we have chance enough to use this Wi-Fi. So again, we thank y'all for joining us. Share these videos, hit the like button. Until y'all see me again, please, y'all be blessed. Oh, also please hit that Cash App for us. We really need it. Till y'all see us next time, y'all be blessed.